Okay, so tonight I wanted to bring up just reselling and reselling in general. As you know, what the channel's about. I started it out as a repair everything type of a channel because I was using affiliate marketing links on the things that I would repair. And that's just a way that I was earning income off of YouTube before I got monetized. But like I always tell you, that you really need to find your passions and go for that. And I knew what my passion was. My passion is side hustles of all kinds. And for years, I've been looking into different types of side hustles to see how well they work and so on. So my channel kind of made a turn to that direction. So I'm still planning on doing a few repair videos here and there, but mainly it's what my passion is. So anyway, and I mentioned this on my last video, that in a capitalist society, everything is about reselling. Whether you go out to a retail store, that's what they're doing, is they're buying low, selling higher. Or if you buy something on Facebook Marketplace, same thing. Somebody's got something that they either want rid of, or they have at a lower price, they try to get a higher price. Same thing on eBay, and so on and so forth. But we're in some different times right now. And as you know, um, I like to think outside of the box, and there's going to be some opportunities available. Yeah, little rascal. I don't know how you keep up with your side hustles. I'll tell you what, but it's tough. Um, but I like staying busy, so that's part of it. Jim B, thanks for posting when the live was. Okay, cool. I'm glad you made it. Ken Ramsberg, how do you decide on eBay shipping? We're going to talk about that, just US or worldwide. We're going to talk about that here in just a moment. Um, as you know, um, well, first let me finish that last line of thought, because sometimes I'll lose it and it'll take off down a rabbit hole and I just can't get it back. But anyway, um, we've got some things going on, and everybody's aware of the tariffs and how's it going to affect the economy and how's it going to affect reselling. And I try to keep my finger on the pulse of that through all the different sellers and things that I know. And the consensus, the majority of people think that if you're into reselling of any kind, this can really be good, unless you're a retailer, of course. That would make it difficult. But if you're buying used things and selling them, you've got a big opportunity right now, because some people are going to be trying to cut back, trying to save some money, and it will be, it should be, I believe, a good time. But even better than that, and I kind of mentioned this too on a post, that if you can make something, and I really don't care what that something is, but I have a bunch of different woodworkers that watch me, and I know there's crafters that watch. From what I understand, there can be a shortage. In fact, they believe it's already, because of what's happened, it's already for sure that there's going to be a shortage for Christmas time and Christmas gifts. So if you can make items and you control the manufacturer that way, I mean, you can have possibly a really good demand for the things that you make. So, as you know, if you come to my live streams, I like to hit on a few of the topics that people have asked me about in the comments. So I want to cover a couple of these. And so on that recent one that I had of retirement reselling, Jerome wrote, thanks for the video. I am starting to refurbish furniture and selling the pieces on Facebook Marketplace, learning new skills and taking pride in my results. This is a perfect example, a really good way to sell larger items. Um, when you do it that way through Facebook Marketplace, I mean, the customer or the buyer, I'm used to customer retail for all those decades, but they get to see what they're getting. You don't have to deal with shipping, and returns are not or shouldn't be any type of an issue. So on big items, perfect. Jerome, right on the money with doing that, as far as I'm concerned. Um, Sell-through rate. I get asked about sell-through rate a lot, and where do you find it, and so on. Well, and some of you that are eBayers, you already know about this, but some of the people here are just getting started. So I want to introduce them to sell-through rate. So, Randy, I live in Central Ohio. So anyway, what sell-through rate is, when you go buy an item, when I'm out sourcing and I'm out looking at an item, I'll use the eBay app to pull up and see, find that item on eBay listings. And I always look when I find the item, it will tell you how many are listed. So, and I always use this as an example. Let's say, just say that there's 100 of them listed. And then you have to filter the results. So on your app, you go over to the left bar, scroll down, and you'll find sold items, and you click sold items. Then it will tell you how many of that item has sold in the last 90 days. Don't forget, that's the last 3 months. So if I find that there's 100 listings for sale right now, and I find out that there's 100 solds in the last 90 days, that's 100% sell through. That is perfect, because I know for sure that if I buy that item and I price it in the middle or towards the lower end of the listings, I'm going to sell it within 3 months. Now, if I want to sell it within a week, I lower it down to the lower part price on the listings. So if somebody has something listed for $30 and up, and I come in at $30 or $35, I'm going to sell it. And you can sell over the lowest price listing. The best way to do that is to make sure that you have really good pictures, take nice pictures, and use a really good description. So that's 100% sell through. Now, if something I pull up and there's 100 listings, and I go look and there's 50 solds, the industry, they call that a 50% sell through, which is not bad. 50% sell through is not bad, but understand that you may have that stocked for 6 months before you're going to sell it. And again, depends on how aggressive you are with your pricing. So if you're trying to squeeze the most out of it, it's going to sit for a while. If you're willing to turn it, which I would do, flip it, go do this again, because the hunt's what's fun. So you go out and find something else, get something else listed. Now, the only time that I will go outside of that rule, if I go and I find, and I never, on the items I'm talking about, there's never 100 listings. There's 10 listings, but there's only been one sold in the last 90 days. Well, I look closely at those other 9 listings and see how good those listings look. And if the item that I'm looking at is in as good or better condition than the others, and I can be aggressive on my price. So in other words, of the 10 listings, I come in at the bottom or close to the bottom, I may still buy it as long as the return rate that I look for is there. And I've said before, my return rate that I always look for is 10 times my money. So if I'm going to spend $10 for something, I'm looking to sell it for 100. Hey, Sky. Sky's in Canada, as everybody can see. D2 let's see. Do you have to use PayPal with eBay, or can you use different forms of payment? If so, what do you do? So if you're talking about on my account, so how I do it with my account is I set up a credit card. I have a credit card just for my side hustles, and that's all it's for. So I know when I go and I buy something and I'm at a thrift store, I always use that same credit card and I've got a record of it. And also on eBay, when I set up my account, I put in that credit card as a form of payment. So that means any charges that they have to charge me for, like this shipping label, for instance, they can charge that credit card. Or if they need to pay me, they pay me through that same account. So that account, you can limit, of course, how much you want for that account. For instance, let's just say that you go to the bank and you tell me you need this credit card, but put a $5,000 limit on it. You will see that moving constantly. So you'll see it going up, and then it'll come down a little bit for different charges that you have, goods that you buy, mailing labels, and so on. And then they keep depositing money in it because you're selling things. And then what typically happens with me, is you will get up high on your limits to where you feel comfortable. And then I just take a section, a percentage of that money, and then move it out of there to another bank account somewhere. So I don't know if that answered your question. D2 T-Bone. But yeah, I just set up a credit card with them. Now, they used to use PayPal in the past. And you have to understand, actually, eBay bought PayPal. I believe that's how it happened. But back when they were using PayPal, that meant there was a third party involved. So they just did their math or their figuring and thought, no, let's just take it straight here on board and we'll do it all right here on eBay. Oh no, as far as a buyer, eBay will take any kind of a payment, as far as I know. When somebody clicks and buys, they take all forms of credit. Or now I don't think they do. They used to do checks years ago, but I don't think they do checks anymore. You have to have a form of credit payment type thing. But yeah, you can go on buy with your Visa or MasterCard or anything like that. Okay, so let's see. Anybody else have something right here I need to? Okay. Okay, so on the sell-through rate, probably clear as mud. Hope it's a little better than that. But you have to calculate it. eBay doesn't say, here's the sell-through rate. You have to go physically look how many listings and how many solds. Now, another part of what Jay wrote on that question, he said, also, do I keep an eye on views and watches? And what do I do do I take action? What I do is you will get watchers on an item. And the longer it sits there, the more watchers. And you will see in your seller's hub, it will say that you can send offers to these buyers. So you can click an item and go look, and you'll find whatever, 8, 10, 12 watchers on an item. And you can send an offer out. And let's say, again, let's say it's a $20 item, and I only want to take 10% off. I want to be minimal on it. I take $2 off of it. I send them all. They all get the offer of $18. And whoever clicks first gets it. So you can send offers. But in my experience, what I've found, and I believe to be true, and the other sellers that I talk to believe the same thing, that there's a percentage of those watchers, and it's actually a large percentage of watchers, are actually other sellers watching your item to see if it sells. So they may have one, and they may already have one listed, but they're watching to see if yours sell. So I still send out the offers, even if it's just a minimal discount. Now, there's another good one. If I have something listed and it's been up for 6 months and I see that I have offer or washers on it, I will send them offers at a good discount just in case they're not sellers. they might jump on it and buy it. So I can go, 30, 40. I don't think I've ever done 50%, but I know some of the sellers do. How do you determine a listing price on item that's not currently listed on eBay and has not been sold? That's the ideal situation. If I find something, and that's where the gamble comes in. If I go out and I locate something, and just from experience of doing it, I'm feel touch this thing, and this is a quality piece of whatever it might be, and I go on eBay and I try to search for it. Oh, that's another thing. We're going to talk about that search part here in just a second. But if I search for it and I don't find it at all, I'm the only seller with it. I'm bumping that price up. And sometimes, I told you in other videos that there's collectors for just about everything and anything that you can think of. So if I have this widget and I can't find it, and I throw it out there for $200, and somebody's used to buying that kind of a thing for $1,000, I left a whole bunch of money on the table. I'm happy. I still got my $200 and I only paid $20 for the widget, 10 times my money. But still, I will go higher on purpose, intentionally. If I go look at comparable type of items, it doesn't have to be the exact item, but something, and I'm going to show you some of those on Bolos. I've got one planned that I think you're going to want to see on Bolos. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I would do. If I find something, it seems like a quality item, I'll take the chance. I'll list it high. If I get no action on it, then over time, I just start reducing the price until I start getting watchers and I throw offers out to them. So I hope that helped. Now, this is important because I know a lot of eBayers, especially new eBayers, get caught up in this, and you need to be careful on your searches. On the eBay app, it has a barcode scanner. So I see people, they'll go in and you'll see them scan an item, the barcode scanner, and they'll pull up the listings and they go, oh my, look at this. There's only 10 of these listed. And this one's really nice shape and I'm going to buy this. And so they'll buy it. But what they don't realize is that the listing, when you list an item, the UPC that you're scanning is not a required field on the listing. So in other words, if I'm looking up this widget and everybody has scanned this widget and they think there's only 10 listings, but I type in what this widget is, forget the barcode, not scanning the barcode. I type it in and pull it up and I find out there's 1,000 listings. I just made a bad purchase. So I always, even if I scan something first with the barcode scanner, if it's something I'm really interested in, I'll stop and I'll punch the item in to see if there's more listings than what I expected. Sky, as everyone probably can see, is buying a cheap China item on Temu, then reselling on an eBay. Is it worthwhile? I know that there's some people doing that. A lot of people do that on Amazon. And by the way, I am an Amazon reseller too, but I don't use that platform at all anymore. And we can talk about that sometime if you want to talk about it. I personally wouldn't. I know there's some people that do that. Some of those people that do that are into drop shipping. So in other words, they don't buy anything. They drop ship from the company. So if you are buying an item from Temu, and let's say you buy 10 of something and you throw it out on eBay, and you're going, oh, good, I can make 10 times my money or whatever. And you put that kind of a price in. And then the next day you click on Amazon and somebody's selling it for twice the money. So I wouldn't go that route. I find that it's better if I can locate things. New in package is the best. But if I can find things that people, things that are in demand that people can't get anymore. So for instance, I don't do hardly anything in health stuff anymore, but I found this was a few years back, and there was a particular type of whitening toothpaste, I believe what it was. And I went into a thrift store, and probably somebody died and had donated all this person's clothing and the packages of new sealed up toothpaste that they had and everything, just donated it all. Well, I found out that this toothpaste, they quit making. They didn't have it. Well, there are people out there when they find something that they like, and I don't care what it is. It can be toothpaste, it could be a particular shoe model or whatever. And now they can't get them anymore. Boy, that can be golden. I mean, you can name your price. And I do know of this one that I'm talking about where single tubes of toothpaste were selling like $40 a piece. So when you find a package of 5 of them, $200, and they want $4 for it. So, but anyway, that's what I find works the best for me is if I locate something that's not available anymore to be had, that can really be good stuff. Okay, so let me grab a drink. We'll go on. Was that good? I don't know if that helped, Sky, but I hope. Okay, so let's see. It was also asked. Oh, okay. I don't know if they're here, and if you are here, if you'll email me your name or something, I'll use it. But this user goes by SHUWB1. So I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But anyway, what happened, and he had posted, or she had posted, this person posted that they spent the day listing on eBay. They just started after doing my listing video with the phone, started listing a bunch. Hey, it's Dan. Dan's here. Cool. So anyway, he listed a bunch of things, and then I think it was the next day, I believe. He said he sent one, and I'm going to share it here, Dan. He said, "Guess what? Sold my first eBay item today after all my work yesterday." So yeah, it was the next day. Confused on the shipping stuff still. I can't see what they charged the buyer and what they charged me. It looks like it's the same. And I wanted to address that for a second. I've already told Dan about this, and he's got it straightened out. If you find that's the problem, if you find that your buyer is getting the same shipping rate as you are, it's in your settings. You have to go to your shipping settings, and there'll be a little toggle that you toggle on and off that you're giving that buyer the same discount that you're getting. So you want to toggle that off because shipping is not free. I mean, again, you're paying for packing supplies. I'm looking at bubble wrap and the tape dispensers and boxes and your time boxing it up, taking it. So that difference, you can call it profit if you want, but it really helps take care of your shipping and gives you money for coffee when you go to the post office. Okay, Sky, how about buying a large box of Amazon return items and selling them on eBay? Well, pallets, that's what they call those, pallet returns. It's really tricky. The sellers that I don't do it, and I won't do that. It's too too risky of a situation for me the way I do. I like profit, and that's how I had my retail business for 40 years, is because I watched all of those nickels and dimes and so on. But here's the issue with pallets. There are companies, different companies, you're not buying them straight from Amazon. These other companies buy them from Amazon. And even though they say, it's an unopened box of these returns, I don't buy that, because I know they can buy Amazon, or Amazon will give them, if they buy pallets from them, Amazon tape to retape the boxes. I know that some of them will open boxes, cherry pick all the good stuff out of them, leave a couple things because they want a return buyer of their pallets, but they cherry pick them off, they list them, tape the boxes back up, and then sell them to other people. Now, I know there are a few companies out there that have a good reputation for not doing that, or doing it very little, but I try to stay away. I try to stay away from it. Can it work for some people? Probably, but more of the people that I talk to, and I've got relationships with a bunch of resellers, they normally don't dabble, not very much. They're more of pickers. They go out and they'll source from all different kinds of places. And I'll give you a story about that in just a second. They'll source from all kinds of places, and looking for those bolos, looking for particular things. Now, are those things hard to find? Well, if you're going out and looking for one, Carhartt jacket in this model, yeah, that would be tough. But if you've got a portfolio of bolos, put them in your phone. I have lists on my phone, and I'll go out and I'll look and I'll see something. It will just, ring a bell to me. I think that might be a bolo, and I'll pull it up on my list and say, yep, that's it. It's right there. And then I go check it all out. But the pallets, I stay away from. Maybe it'll work for you. But I think it's a little bit too risky. Okay, so let's see. So we talked about Dan's shipping. And I hope you caught that, because that's going to make a world of difference in your bottom line. And, I had some people that would email me, different trolls and things out there, that criticizing, their shipping's always the same as the buyers. That's because they don't know. They don't go check and try to learn about how to take care of that. But that's the answer. Okay, so D2T bones, calculated shipping, usually first class or ground advantage. I recently saw a Facebook ad for ground advantage, and most of the comments are negative. Ground advantage is the old first class. First class is gone. It's now called ground advantage. And I use it daily almost. I don't have any problems. That's USPS ground advantage, but no, calculated shipping is not always ground advantage. You can choose FedEx or UPS or whatever, but typically on items up to, probably 15, 18 pound box, unless it's a huge box. But if it's just a normal sized box and it's 15, 18 pounds, ground advantage always is the lowest price. It'll be UPS and FedEx every time. When I say that, I'm not talking about, UPS is $30 and theirs is 10. It's not like that. It's like UPS is 13 and ground advantage is 10. So both of them have $100 insurance on them, ground advantage and the UPS, but yeah, no, calculated shipping will work on any of them. Now, on any of the shipping or shippers out there, Now, one thing that you need to be careful of, and like I said, I have 2 stores, and I found out I rarely, and I do mean rarely, ship FedEx. Um, I usually use UPS or USPS, but you have to be careful. I found on one of my stores, and again, I never used FedEx, but I was going through and checking settings and things, just doing an audit basically. And I found that one of my stores on the shipping that we were just talking about on Dan's items, the settings had the toggle off on UPS and on USPS, but it was turned on for FedEx. So they were giving the buyer the same rate that they gave me on FedEx. So I made no extra money for shipping on FedEx till I toggled it off, which I did, and got it reset. Yeah. Also, most of the comments were negative. Most people probably don't home if they have a problem. That's what I was just going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. Um, what happens? Um, this hasn't come up. I'm just going to interject this because I know this happens, and just so you're aware, different scammers on eBay. Um, there's a scam. 2 of them I'm going to tell you about. First one, if you're a new seller, so you have very few feedback or no feedback, you are a prime candidate for a scammer to approach you. And what they'll do, they will make some outlandish types of requests for you. For instance, um, if I pay you more for it than what you're asking, can you ship it to this address? No, don't don't even go there, because I'm telling you, it's a scammer for sure. Just stay right inside the normal procedure. They buy it, you put it in the box, and you ship it. Don't get into that. And trust me, if you're new, you're going to get them. And it usually stops once you get like 50 or better. Some of the resellers say it takes 100. But after you get some feedback, they go away. They know you're not new anymore, and they don't try to do that. So anyway, yeah, you just have to be careful with that. Now, another one too, is people will ask about the big items. We talked about a little bit at the beginning, but um, I I sell items, and it's worked out pretty well actually. That's local pickup only. And you think, boy, you're really limited on your area. Yes, I know. Um, I'm really limited, but on certain items, well, I'll give you an example. As you know, I had a recumbent trike store, and I have a recumbent trike frame, and it's listed right now. You can see it on the store, and it's like listed $530 or something like that. Local pickup only. Now, when that shocks you, you have to understand recumbent trike starting price is over $1,200, and they go up from there. But anyway, I have it listed. I know I can put it in a box. I can fold it. It's a folding frame. I can fold it and put it in a box. I know for sure if I do that and I ship it to somebody, it's it's just a perfect item for a scammer. Well, this is wrong. That was wrong. That was bent. This is so I don't do that. I shall sell it as local pickup. So that means somebody buys it, they pay for it, they pay for it. eBay holds the money. eBay gives them a code on their phone, and you go meet them somewhere. I don't have them come to my house. I go meet them. Actually, where I meet them is at the local fire, or not fire, but the police station. They have cameras up, and anybody that's shady, they don't want to meet you there. So that's what I do. You go, they look it all over. They can check everything out. And if everything looks good to them, you scan their code and the sale's done and the money's deposited in your account. So, and it's worked flawlessly. I've not had a problem. But something came up, or one of the comments asked about really big items and shipping. Well, I can tell you that bike boxes can ship FedEx, and you can go pick a bike box up at your local bike shop. Now, some of them are going to charge you, $6, $8, $10, but you're talking about a big box that we know will go FedEx. And you can check on UPS's site or on FedEx's site what their size limits are on length and girth and so on. But what I did is I had back when my mom passed away, I had a mid-century fiberglass couch. And I knew it was valuable, but it may not be valuable in the local area. So we listed it, my wife and I listed it on eBay as local pickup. Right away, some designer somewhere contacted us and wanted that couch. We told him, only if you set up the pickup, the delivery, the pickup, you set it up, we're not going to. And he did. And we found out at that point, and I hope this is good information. I actually need to do a video about this. There are trucking companies out there, and I wasn't even aware of this. There's trucking companies out there that these independents, they will come into a city, drop a load, and then they look for these opportunities for them to go pick something up to take back on their way home. And that's exactly what happened. He set it up with this company. They came in, they had a trailer on. The driver loaded this thing up by himself, lashed it down, of course, gave me the code first. I scanned it, I was paid, and the buyer took care of all of that. And I'm in Central Ohio, and he couldn't make it over. I think he was from Columbus, so he was 45 minutes from me or something, but he had another company, a trucking company, come in and pick it up. So it worked out great. Knowing that, I've used it since. And I had a big item. I had a lawn tractor with a pull behind mower, and it was valuable. And I put it out there, and I didn't know if somebody locally would buy it. Somebody did from the other side of Pennsylvania, so quite a ways away from me. And he came in, he went and bought a new trailer to pull with his truck, had his whole family, and showed up at my door from Pennsylvania. He loaded up the tractor, was happy, and I scanned this code first, his little, it wasn't a barcode, QR code, and he was happy. He saw it run and so on. So local pickup works too. Let's see. Getting behind here a little bit. Yeah, I'm staying up with you guys. Sky, would you share a few items on your Bolo list? Those are my videos, Sky. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one that just come to mind when we were talking about a little while ago. And you may not even know what this is. You may have to go research it. To locate it, but it's an item that you're going to be surprised when you go look, because you've seen them before. I'd seen them years ago in, grandmother's house or an old aunt's house or something. And they're called swung glass vases. And I don't know if you're familiar. So it's glass that while it's melted, they actually swing it, and it gives it a twirl to the vase. And at the top, it's got like a flower look at the opening. So that's called swung glass vases. Some of those go really high. Now, there are some that are not as high. You have to look and see which brands can bring the high dollars, but thousands of dollars on some of them. Shipping wars on TV series. I think I saw that once. I haven't seen it since, but yeah, that could be interesting. There's all different kinds of ways. So far, and most of the time when I'm talking eBay, But this can go for anything. It doesn't have, like I said, I sold a lawn tractor and a couch and so on. It doesn't have to be eBay, but there's all kinds of creative ways for shipping. And that you want to write that down, that trucking companies do that. Actually, what you can do, I don't remember the website, but you can Google it, and you can go Google and find trucking companies that specialize in that for their drivers. And it's like a moonlighting, a side hustle gig for the drivers to do. Okay, revisit the toggle that needs turned off for the shipping cost. Yeah, it's under your settings. If Dan's still here, he can probably jump in there too. But anyway, it's under your settings, and there's little toggles under your shipping preferences, and that's one of them. In fact, I'll tell you what, can't remember. It's actually on Dan's comment, and again, his username. What did I say it was? It's on here somewhere. Oh, SHUWB1. One of his comments on my channel, on one of my videos, I gave him the exact steps. And all you have to do to get the exact steps, I don't know if you're used to using AI or not, but you can probably just Google it or use AI and just ask, how do I find my selling preferences on eBay? And either one, Google or AI, will show you the steps. Okay, let's see. Wow, time flies. Having fun. Sure thing, little rascal. Okay, so let's see. What do I have over here? Don't see the discount. Got that. And little rascal, one of your comments I'm going to tell him about. And it's a good thing for live stream. Good thing for people to hear. Little rascal he said, it's not about, this is about the thinking outside the box and the boot birdhouses and so on. He said, it's not about the boot birdhouses for me. It's your mindset and how it makes me think outside of the box. Thanks for your inspiration. And I guess he's fellow Buckeye. That's what I try to do here. Get people well, that's my ebook that's on Amazon's Think Like an Entrepreneur. When you start thinking outside of the box, I'm telling you what, you'll see opportunities all around you. So again, on my last video, I think it was the last video, they're running together, that I'd mentioned that people are afraid and people get scared and time's tough and uncertain and so on. I'll tell you what, there's opportunity in there. You have to just look and see what the opportunities are for you. Earlier I mentioned one that I wanted to tell you about. These trolls. I get different emails and people complaining. So this guy says, he's probably in here listening, I don't care. He says, like selling something for $20 and making a $10 profit, what's the use? He wouldn't even get out of the bed for that. Well, let me tell you, my mind runs when somebody says something like that. Here's what he is and isn't. He is somebody that says something like that. He's not bored out of his mind. I've got people, and they've told me that watch the channel. They're bored in retirement. They've got money. Money's not the issue at all. Not a bit. They mow their grass every opportunity that they can. They walk through their yard, make sure that all the sticks are picked up. It's spotless, their yard. So they sit there and watch the grass grow so they can get out there and mow it again next week. They're bored. They're looking for some activity and some things to, just make them active. So, that's one of the situations. Or maybe it's a single mother or a single father having a rough time, and that extra $10 means something to them. So somebody like that, even if it's small amounts of money, it helps them. And I've shared before, I talked to a young guy who could not quite get ends to meet. At the end of the month, they're always, $100 or $200 or $300 or $400 short at the end of the month, and the stress on them and their marriage and everything else. This is a way to prevent that from happening. So somebody would say that has money. That person has money. Probably lives in mom and dad's basement. I don't know. But he's not bored. He's active. He's probably got a job, not to worry about selling something for $20 and making 10. So anyway, that's my rant. I'm off. Okay, so Dan says, did you already tell them about the subtitle charge? Are there other hidden charges to watch for? Sure. So what Dan's talking about is when he started listing a bunch of things, eBay has all kinds of add-ons. You go take your car to the garage, they're going to try to hit you with all kinds of add-ons. eBay's the same way. And it's the same thing when you sign up for anything free. There's always paid versions. So when you go down through the listing on eBay, you'll come to a line that says subtitle. So you can type in a subtitle if you want. And it looks easy and you just do it. Then you find out that they charge $2 for that subtitle. Well, there goes a little bit of your profit. You're giving them a little bit of fee. The other big one, and I know some sellers that just thinks this is a must. I don't. I like profit. And that is promoted listings. Let's talk about that. Thank you, Bob. Okay, so let's talk about promoted listings first. So, again, now eBay pushes this, and they will, when you do a promoted listing, what the idea is, if you promote your listing, and if it sells, they charge you this promoted listing fee. And they'll say, it's 2%. Oh, well, yeah, I think it starts at 2. Excuse me. I believe it starts at 2, but they'll say, 10% promoted listing, and they'll push your listing to the top. And they push it. They'll say, for instance, on a ball glove I just listed, on the ball glove, it says 47% of ball glove listings are promoted. I don't care. Those same people that pay the promoted listing, throw an extra 10% fee on, are the same people that complain about eBay and they're not making any money. I don't play that game. It's just like when I was in business, I would have phone book representatives coming in. Oh, your competitor down here, he has a half page. You need to get a full page ad. I didn't play their games. And if you watch your bottom line and you buy correctly, you won't have a problem. You don't have to pay eBay extra money to show your listing to people. So that's the big one. That's the one you have to really watch. That's the one where you were running it, whatever. They'll say, I was running it, 40% profit margin. Now I'm making 30%. Well, they promoted their listing and now they're complaining about it. Okay, so let's see here. Bob's asking, is there a channel or a list that would list items that someone's looking for? No, that's your job. You have to, that's the part that you have to figure out. Let's say, for instance, let's say you made up a list yourself. You go through and you go, wow, that sold. That was a good item. And you write it down and you're looking for more of those. And you get 10 of those. And then you post those 10 items, and all the resellers are out there looking for those same 10 items. You just shot yourself in the foot. So there's There's certain things you keep close to vest, me and all the other resellers, but I'm willing to share a whole lot more than a lot of the guys are. Money's not the issue. The side hustle is what I enjoy. Wish there was a tab on the app for the Sellers Hub. Well, all you do when you pull up the app is just mine automatically goes right to my account instantly. So I'm not exactly sure what. Well, you probably do have to click. I would imagine I've been on this for years. When you first bring up your page, there's probably a sell icon or sell tab that you have to click to take you over. But mine, for some reason, maybe I set the default a long time ago. I don't know. But when I pull mine up, my Sellers Hub's what comes right up. I'd have to look into that. Yeah, Bob, the personal card, um, highly recommend that. It's one, there's one of the things that really aggravate me, and it does about Amazon too. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. When you order something from Amazon, and it can be something that's breakable. I mean, I had something come in here not long ago, a week ago, and all they did is they threw it in a poly bag. I mean, it was just in one of these and no other protection. So I would highly recommend that you watch your packaging, because your buyer is going to appreciate it. If it's packaged nicely. Now, someone else asked about boxes. I don't remember who it was. About I pick up boxes at retail stores all the time. If I see a stock person stocking shelves, I'll go up and see if it's the size box I'm interested in. I'll just ask them, "Can I have your boxes?" And most of the time, they say absolutely. They don't want to have to haul them to the dumpster or compactor, whatever they have. So yeah, go grab a shopping cart, throw them in the shopping cart, go up by the cashier and say, "You said I could have your boxes." No, so far, nobody's had an issue with that. Now, I don't go into Walmart. I go into, oh, like Tractor Supply stores or Rural Kings or something like that to do it, or any kind of a smaller store. Hey, Lisa, you made it though. That's been good. I think we've had a pretty good discussion about all kinds of things. But oh yeah, I wanted to bring up that card packaging. What I found, bubble wrap can get expensive. You'll go through more bubble wrap than you think you will. What I've done is I went to rolls of brown craft paper that you can just lightly crumple to put around something. That's been working real well. But again, I mentioned before that I have plastic sealers, and most items, if I have something like that tripod, I'll put it in a plastic bag first and seal it, and then I just crumple some. I know it's not going to get dirty. That's the whole purpose. Keep this nice and clean. So I'll seal it up, and then I'll take some of that brown craft paper and just crumple around it and try to put it in a box. And it's not. You pick up a box that somebody shipped to you and you rattle and it's banging inside the box. That's not impressive. So anything just to make it seem more secure to the buyer. Throw a card in. I always throw one of my little cards. I get those from Vistaprint, by the way, and yeah, I do that with everything that I ship. Okay, Little Rascal, on your Sellers Hub, it's going to give information about your account. When I click and I'm on my Sellers Hub, it's showing how much I've made in the last 90 days. It shows my listings and so on. It doesn't show that on the home page of eBay. So when you pull it up, if you're seeing just the home page of eBay, like where anybody would go, there has to be a seller tab for you to click, and it's going to take you over to your seller's account. As long as you're logged in, you want to make sure you need to sign in on the app into your account. Well, I know I'm coming right up. I've got more things. I'm coming up on an hour. I try to keep these at around an hour or so. So yeah, my plan is I'm going to be posting on Mondays on video, and then on Thursdays on the live stream. And this goes back to one of those first questions about keeping up with all my different side hustles. I'm going to have to try to pace it right. That's why I'm really asking you guys to let me know the things that you really want to hear. Because if I'm posting a video a week, we're talking 4 a month, and I could post a lot more than that, but I've got other things to do too, personal life too. So yeah, let me know. And I just take a consensus. Just because I might not hit yours, that's because I got 10 of another one that someone wants to see. Do I ever buy from online hubs like Etsy, Goodwill Online, or even eBay where people have their listing done incorrectly? Absolutely, I do. Improper keywords, wrong price. They do not know what is worth. Absolutely, I do. And we'll talk about that before we end this. Yeah, he says, Jim says, I see all of this kind of stuff on Marketplace all the time. Absolutely. So, what that's called, the word for it is arbitrage. Buying something, I don't care where it's from, and moving it to a different platform to sell it. You will go, you pick the platform, I don't care. You can go to Marketplace, you can go to Craigslist, you can go to eBay, and you will find items that are not priced right, described right. Pictures are horrible, and buyers are afraid of the item. And if you know what it is that you're buying, yeah, if somebody's selling something for $20 and I know it's a mover, I can sell it, and I know it's $100 item, I'll buy it and flip it. Retail arbitrage can be really good. You guys, you go into stores, they have clearances in stores. Walmart's a good example. Here's what you do. Here's a little tip for you. Get the Walmart app on your phone. Have an account, log in. So you have the Walmart account, their app on your phone. You go in, you go to the clearance section. You go down through the clearance section. It knows where you are. It asks you, is this your store? You say, yes, this is my store. You go in, you go down through. Well, you know what? There's some lazy employees out there. You go down through this clearance aisle, you see something that was $20 and it's been marked down to 14. And you look at it and you go, well, there's not enough money there for me to make. And then you scan it and see it's on clearance for $5. Their employee just hasn't went down the aisle and repriced everything. I've done it. This is not something I'm guessing on. I've done it. That's called retail arbitrage. I know of a seller who made, I don't remember the amount, but it's like $1,500 or $2,000 in one weekend by going to different Walmart stores right before Christmas, picking up a particular game that they had on clearance, buying them, taking them back and listing them on eBay and selling them because it was a hot item. Even though it's on clearance at Walmart, he made a ton of money. He just went to all the Walmarts around him. In fact, he went to the next state too and picked some up. So that's retail arbitrage. Picking up items that are valuable and are priced wrong. Yep, Little Rascal. Thanks for the live stream. Got to go. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. We're 8 o'clock. We're up at an hour. Guys, this was fun. As always, if you're new here, like, subscribe, all those things. And I'll see you on my next video.